What's up, guys? TheInsaneGamefreak here. I'm in Fries, and this is my Flaws of One Piece video. Now, just to let you know, I had to take myself out of the fan of One Piece and put myself in an objective view. Because a lot of people don't like this show. Even though it's the #1 in Japan, in America, it's probably around 5th or 4th. Just saying. I'm sorry, I'm just telling the truth. A lot of people just don't like the show, even though I got a couple of cool things and news-wise to tell you. I'm eating fries, so you're going to see me go woo woo while I'm doing this. Like right now. Let's get into it. The flaws of One Piece. Actually, the first flaw of One Piece is pretty much how the show starts. That's a big-ass flaw. Because if anyone's read the manga, you guys know that the manga doesn't open up the way the fucking anime does. The anime has some similarities where he still fights Alvia. He still comes out of a barrel, but that's not really how Luffy is technically introduced to the series. Like the shit with Shanks, you know, that you see, I think, in episode 3, is actually at the beginning of the fucking manga, which would have made a lot of sense. I don't know why in the hell. I still don't understand that, why the fuck they changed the beginning of the anime, which is the only non-canon thing, even though half of that shit's canon. They don't fight on a pirate ship. You don't see Nami at the beginning of the fucking show like you do in the anime. Like in the manga, she doesn't actually show up until the way she's introduced in the anime. That's the same. It gets uncanon somewhere between. Pretty much the first episode is like the only non-canon thing, because it just kind of, they fucked up the way you meet Luffy. Like episode 3 is way too fucking early for Luffy's back. It's way too late actually, because technically they addressed the shit with Shanks and actually went into more detail in the manga at the beginning of the damn chapter. Don't know why they did it this way. Like a lot of people are like, God, the anime starts off bad. That's not really the manga's fault though. That's I say everything after like episode 2 is fine. Episode 2 is canon. But episode 3 and episode 1 have these fuck ups in Japan. In Japan, it's like this. I don't know what the fuck they were doing when they first brought this over. Cause that shit, it's part of the reason why people don't really like the show. The pacing was fucked up. A lot of people like, it starts off slow. It's really random. It could have had the same kind of opening. It could have had the same kind of introduction that fucking Naruto had. It almost has the exact same introduction. The problem with it is that they fucked it up by doing this. You know what I'm gonna do? Like the manga starts off with Luffy as a little kid doing the shit with Shanks, even though that, even in the anime version of that, was cut down. Not ridiculously, but it's cut down. So that's the first problem, just because the manga and the anime have 2 different openings. I mean, it's not anything too ridiculously, but it's enough where it's horrible. The second thing, and I don't really think this is a flaw, but this is something a lot of people like to pull out on me, is it has a very childish cartoon style. It's a fucking Japanese cartoon. I expect it to have a cartoon style. But what I think a lot of people really mean when they say that is they don't think it's raw enough. Like, if you compare the first episode of One Piece with the first episode of Naruto, One Piece doesn't come off raw. It doesn't come off raw. Even when compared to Bleach, it doesn't come off raw. It comes off very childish and cartoony. Which to me, all I have to say is that's Oda's style. I think that's a little bullshit. The third flaw I probably have to mention is the fucking, what I like to call the devil fruit plot hole. The reason why I call it the plot hole because Oda has yet to really talk about the devil fruits. Which I can understand because there's like even Bleach and Kishimoto, you gotta give them some shit. You gotta give them some props because there are certain points that you just can't cover in a short amount of time. But the thing with One Piece is One Piece really never has addressed the devil fruits. It's like the devil fruits are just kind of a means to an end. which is bad considering the fact that almost half of the abilities in fucking One Piece come from devil fruits if it isn't through just normal humans having these abilities. I mean, fuck, we know a lot of information on Zanpakuto's toes. We know a lot of information on jutsus, which are the two ways they fight in fucking Naruto. Devil fruits are still a plot hole regardless if it has anything to do with what type of devil fruits cause what abilities. It's still a plot hole because that's the one thing Oda doesn't address. Oda isn't a perfect mangaka. I never said that. I just think the way he does his shit's better. Now this is kind of a flaw, but to me it's a plus comparing it with other shows. Oda knows that you don't drag out rescue arcs. What I mean by that is technically there's about 2 of them. If you count, I don't really. It depends if you count it or not. Nami's arc is technically a rescue arc for Nami, and then CP9 is another rescue arc for Robin, which I think he just did. Which really which is kind of fucked up because there's no. The creativity comes on how he addressed each one, which are completely different. It just happens. The only funny thing is that the 2 girls in the series both have rescue arcs, even though one is more epic than the other. But it's funny because up to that point, Nami's arc was the most epic arc, and up to the point when Robin's arc is the most epic arc. It's kind of weird that a lot of people's favorite old school and new school fights come from the 2 rescue arcs. The reason why I said this is kind of a flaw because it's kind of cliched, considering he's done it twice in his own fucking manga. And my SpongeBob poster is falling off the wall. It would only do this on a Bleach Flaws dip video. Anyways, while I fix this, you're gonna hear me keep talking. What makes this kind of bad though, makes it bad is he's done it twice. The cool thing though, is that he doesn't drag it out like he does like 2 other mangaka we know. And that right over there. You know what the fuck is up. Kishimoto. Stop dicking around. Because that's totally what Kishimoto and fucking Kubo have been doing. Oh god damn it. Alright. SpongeBob poster just fell off the goddamn wall. I'm putting this up. This only happens during a Bleach Vlog video. I mean not Bleach, One Piece Vlog video. Anyways, now my wall is empty on that side. So it's kind of a flaw because it's cliche. It isn't like everything in One Piece is original. It just does things better than the other 2. I mean, come on. Naruto has 2 arcs. And half the main story devoted to Sasuke, rescuing Sasuke. Bleach. It's 2 arcs. Its 2 main arcs are these 2 girls. That's it. It just so happens that these girls are being guarded by fuckers that Ichigo has to take down. Both of Ichigo's arcs have not been original. They're fucking rescue arcs. The only cool thing about Rukia is that, you know, there was character development and introductions to characters. Whereas the second arc is just bullshit. So, I mean, I think all 3 of these mangakas are doing cliched shit. One Piece isn't God. I just think One Piece is better. Because it's not. And Oda knows when to cut shit off. Like, look, we had all these correct. Look, you had the East Blue Saga, and only in that entire saga there was 1 rescue arc. I mean, technically you could say there's more than 1 rescue, depending on what you determine as being rescued, but I'm talking about where a fucking arc gets decided by a fucking female. And that was only Nami and Robin. A lot of people will say Vivi is kind of a rescue arc. And kinda. But it wasn't like it was just like that was the whole. It was more just taking down a douchebag. Like Luffy really wasn't concerned. Luffy was concerned for Vivi, which was part of the reason. But to me, it wasn't as bad. Well, wait, which is the other thing we need to drop. Apparently, One Piece has bad pacing. Which, I guess for someone who isn't a fan of the show, that would make sense. Considering the fact that the first... Now, a lot of people, this is what I find hilarious. A lot of people don't like the first few arcs of One Piece. Like, people hate the East Blue Saga. Don't know why. I love the East Blue Saga. A lot of people just don't like that arc. And I think it's because a lot of people compare it with the rest of the series, which you're not supposed to do. It's the beginning arc. So there is no beginning arc that beats the shit out of a later arc. When it comes to, like, government shit. And a lot of people are like, well, man, the East Blue arc has, like, the worst fights. Which is the one thing I've ever seen anyone argue with One Piece. No one says shit about the fights. You wonder why no one says shit about the fights? Because this is kind of going in between now. But I just need to address this. The fights beat the shit out of fucking Naruto's and goddamn Bleach's. I'm sorry, but the fights are really fucking slow. Really slow in Naruto, depending on the fight. And are just kind of stupid in Bleach. Like, Bleach, it kind of comes down to just swinging swords. Considering the fact that they make a use of all these Shikai and Bankai, that just seems kind of stupid in retrospect. Especially if if the people fighting have not used Shikai or Bankai yet. I don't know, it's just stupid, man. I'm trying to think of another one that a lot of people don't like. I'll give people Devil Fruit, I'll give people the beginning of the show, because the beginning of the show got fucked up by the damn... Japan fucked their own shit up. But, I mean, One Piece is badass enough they can recover from that kind of damage. Even though it's the beginning of the show. And he recovered really fucking quick. And became a goddamn legend real fucking quick. A lot of people, I guess a flaw which would kind of go for all of these is the length. The only difference I liked about One Piece that made the length not that bad is the length, at least it ties in with itself. The only thing in Bleach that really ties in is the hollow shit and his dad. Like, everything else is just kind of just random new stuff. Whereas, like, One Piece, you go from East Blue to fucking Alabasta and shit. And that shit will now have reference for like later chapters of the manga. Because Alabasta is when you meet Ace. That shit's addressed. You got Laboon. That shit's addressed. The fucking government, the warlords, like, you know how fucking Arlong is the underling of Jinbei. That motherfucker's in the goddamn anime later. They don't do that shit with Bleach or Naruto. But I guess it makes sense, but the length thing is something you just can't control. Like, a lot of people like the bitch about length, but you do realize that you end up getting a bad ending if you try to rush a manga. And if the anime is long, I mean, you can't bully me. I mean, come on, this is why I said it was gonna be kind of short. And I'm kind of going into fanboyish mode because there's not a lot I can possibly say that One Piece really sucks at. One Piece has somewhat bad pacing depending on the arc. A lot of people don't like. I think a lot of people don't like what arc is it? They don't like Skypiea, which is understandable. I know J-Man doesn't like Thriller Bark or Davy Back, and it seems to do the same thing I think Naruto does with the up and down shit. I'm seriously, Skypiea I'll give you. Out of all of One Piece's arcs, One Piece has probably about one what I would define as kind of stupid arc, and that's Skypiea. Mainly just because of the way it doesn't fit Oda's style. I feel like he put that in there because he couldn't top Alabasta. It's really hard to top out. Alabasta was just like that big moment for One Piece. One Piece fandom hit the highest in Alabasta, and then came right the fuck back up when they got to fucking CP. Like, almost everyone who likes One Piece loves CP9 as their favorite arc. People just love that arc. That arc was the shit for them, even though they're only referring to the fights. But as far as flaws really go, Devil Fruits, beginning of the show, pacing somewhat, because the Skypiea thing just threw me off. When I'm like, I'm getting off the high Alabasta, and you go in all these fillers, and the next arc is kind of like, it's good. mind you, but it's not. It's probably my least favorite. Like there wasn't. That's the arc I just don't give a fuck for. Which sucks because that's where we are in American or in the English language. Anyways, it's going on too long. I hope you guys see where some of my viewpoints are going as far as what I don't like about the flaws in One Piece, and I will catch you guys later when the manga comes out. Oh God, I went over 15 minutes. Shit.